you for tuning in. This is the very first episode of my coming out story, and I could not be more excited and more, oh my gosh. I want to introduce to you my very first guest. This is Ryan Staples.
How's it going?
There is a very special reason why I wanted to start with you, Ryan, because Ryan and I grew up together. And in a, let's just say, a rough area of, believe it or not, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Yeah, it does have a rough area. It's gotten a lot better over the years.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I love Fort Wayne. I really do. But you and I were kind of like the only, well, let's just say it. We're kind of like the only two white girls
In our neighborhood. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's true.
look, it was diverse. It's
I'm so thankful for the upbringing, and like honestly, it was like one of the best things that I think happened to me because it
really
got absolutely, it got me ready to like travel and be in every other like place that I've lived so far. So
you are a traveler.
Yeah, I am, and honestly, I don't think that I would have had that fearlessness to go into different like social realms if it weren't for the diversity that we grew up
I
with.
feel that same way.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a chameleon. I can kind of associate with anybody.
Oh, yeah. You always have that.
I can also turn very ghetto in like no time.
I was gonna say you definitely have that ability. Not so much me. I'm not. Yeah.
You don't have that? You never got it?
I never did.
You've just always been the.
This is it. This is what
so
you get.
Here, okay. I want to tell you my impression of you when I was a kid.
I'd love to hear it.
And I want you to tell an impression of me when you had me figured out right away.
Oh yeah,
So,
I had you nailed from the get go before I had myself figured out.
You did. Yes. Okay, so I thought of you as this intellectual, kind of a nerd, but like I love nerds. Okay,
Yeah.
that is I really love nerds, you guys. So, but I always felt like you were hiding your intelligence. You were deeply intelligent.
Oh yeah, I dumbed
Were
it
you in
down.
the gifted
Always.
classes?
Always in the gifted classes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Eagles,
that's why I never
East
had
Ellen-
class. That's why I never had
Yeah.
class with Ryan because
East Ellen Greater Learning Experience, which funny enough, I always thought that meant that I was like special needs. I didn't realize it was actually like a gifted kid program. I was always like, why am I getting pulled out of these classes for this? Yeah. Deep rooted
do
insecurities,
you think
obviously.
you hid your intelligence?
Absolutely.
downplayed it?
Oh, 100%. I
Why?
tried so hard to like not show it, and I still do. If you set the bar low, then you don't have to really strive for much more. So it was one of those things that I always kind of just try to kind of skirt under the radar and not really bring too much attention to myself. Hence how I dressed, and hence do you remember how I dressed?
We're gonna be. I'm putting pictures up, by the way.
God.
Ryan doesn't know this, but in the yearbook that Ryan is holding right now.
Believe it. Seriously, I can hardly believe it.
My brother drew that cover. Hold that cover up so the camera can see it. My brother drew that. He was in high school at the time, and they got a hold of him because he's that good of an artist. And then I want to show this too because I drew this cover in 6th grade, 8th grade. I don't know. 94. I was 8th grade. Yeah. Yeah, I was very artistic back then. Oh yeah. So yeah, you and I we only had lunch together because
We had the best table ever, though. It was a good
I
table.
would always go over your apartment, and I'd knock on the door, and Ryan was never allowed to come out and play. Like I swear.
I was forever grounded. Best kid ever. Never did anything wrong, but I was forever grounded for something. It was always something.
I rode my bike everywhere, you guys. It was the you remember my bike?
I do, yeah. They
I
had
love
pegs,
that.
and I thought you were the coolest.
I had 4 pegs
Yeah,
on
I know,
each.
yeah.
Yeah, man. And it was red and white, and I called it the Compton Cruiser. And
You did, actually.
that thing got stolen like twice a year.
I was going to say, you couldn't keep a bike in that neighborhood.
You know how hard it was to be a Reds fan in the 90s?
In that neighborhood?
Yeah, with the Bloods and Crips being very common. I genuinely was a Reds fan. I still am. Obviously, you can see that, you guys. I remember the principal came up to me. I drew a book or whatever, Trapper Keeper, whatever it was back then, and I drew the Reds logo on it. And he made me put it down or something. I'm like, no, man, I'm really just a Reds fan. I'm like, oh.
This is a trip, by the way.
You're enjoying that yearbook.
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
So, your parents were divorced, though. So,
Parents were never married. It was a college mishap.
Oh.
Yeah, total
but
bastard.
are you your dad's only child?
I am that we know
Oh, are those his words or your words?
No, that's mine. My dad definitely got around a bit when I was younger. But, I mean, no one has come forward and claimed him.
So did you go back and forth?
Yeah, my whole life. He was kind of like the weekend dad, and then I spent a lot of time with him during the summers. But my mom had full custody.
That's why you went to the school that I went to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Village Woods. By the way, is the building even still there?
I think it's still there. Yeah.
Like all of our schools are closed, man. Like
they're defunct at this point.
No, the Paul Harding is still functioning as.
Is it?
I don't even understand what it is,
like
but
a technical institute or something.
something like this. Yeah, they're still utilizing the building. That's great. Yeah, you were never allowed to come out and play, but when you did, you were a blast. You you really could. You can fit in any.
That was a lot. I mean, I was definitely like all about going out and socializing. I just wasn't allowed to do it.
You are technically the redheaded stepchild.
I 100% am exactly.
I thought that was like the funniest joke.
Yeah.
I told you. I was like, Ryan's heard that before.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've heard that one a little too much. But I was 100% the redheaded stepchild, and I did get beat like one. So I mean, it was.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. It's not a funny joke, really, but yeah.
All right. It is life. Do you remember like moments of coming out? I want to get a little more into your story of like when you knew that you were. I'm just gonna call you different because I didn't know. I had no idea. I was drinking the Jesus juice.
Oh yeah, you were fully indoctrinated in that.
I really was,
yeah.
which is why we, you and I, we didn't see each other for 20 years. Of course, you moved to, was it Seattle, Washington?
I took off. I lived all over the place.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ended up in Seattle for about 16 years. Yeah.
Do you look fondly on that? Is that like
absolutely? I had a great time out in Seattle. It changed a lot while I was out there, obviously. But I mean, I started out on the East Coast, so
I didn't know
the
that.
Northeast Coast, and did some time out there, and then met a woman who lived in like just outside of Seattle, and she was like, "You're gonna love it. Like this is totally gonna be your speed. You're way more West Coast than East Coast," and she was right. As soon as I made the leap over there, it was
Really?
it. But then I did the stint in Las Vegas as well.
Oh, I didn't know any of this about you.
Short stint in LA, and then also a little bit of time in Mexico.
What?
Yeah, but mostly Seattle was my home base.
Do you speak any Spanish or anything like that?
Just enough to get by, but hell no, not conversationally. No, it's actually at that time yes, but no, it's really kind of shameful.
Better than I do. That is one of my regrets is not learning to speak Spanish.
Yeah, I mean,
I was too stuck up. But it was the environment. Like, English gets me by just fine, and I was
I would
stuck
say
up.
that I'm actually thoroughly embarrassed that I'm not fluent in Spanish.
I know. I personally know many people have gotten much farther in their career and things like that because of being bilingual. I would love to be bilingual. I could still learn it, but I'm very, very visual. So it's hard for me to be audible. Anything goes in one ear and out the other.
Yeah. See, I can comprehend Spanish and read it just fine. It's just a matter of the conversational aspect of it.
That's impressive.
It's basically just a confidence issue, really, and it's my not being fluent, so I just avoid it.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's basically what it is.
That's kind of deep, actually.
I know.
It's something
Once
that
again,
you're
it goes
not
back
good
to
at.
those deep-rooted
You are
insecurities.
good at a lot of things that most people don't know about.
It's true. Yeah.
You really are. You have like a lot of secret talents that.
I really do. It goes back to hiding all of those. I don't want people to know that I actually have those skills because then they're asked of me. So if you just hide it, then the expectations are really low.
I'm just the opposite.
Yeah, you're a showboater.
No, hold on. It took me 30 years. After about the age of 30, I realized, I'm actually kind of smarter.
Well, you were always smart.
I didn't know that, though.
Yeah.
No, I was in all the dumb classes. I mean, I really was.
Well,
I didn't do my homework. My parents didn't help me with homework. No offense to them. They just couldn't,
Yeah.
My dad was always working or something, so, but I hated homework. I figured I went to school all day. I'm done. I want to go play some basketball or something.
Well, you had the interest in athletics, basketball.
You did too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We played basketball together, by the way.
Yeah, incredible point guard. Oddly enough, we go to an almost exclusively black school, and then you were our point guard. That was kind of incredible. Yeah.
You go ahead and tell the audience what the play was. Like your sole position.
My sole position was basically to get in the way. I basically set up picks for Jen because I've been exactly this size my entire life.
No, that's not true. You said you can't. You moved back to Indiana and gained.
Oh no!
What did you call it?
The same height. But
you're same height.
I was the same height since like 5th grade, but I only recently got to be this stocky human before you.
That's what Indiana,
Yeah,
corn-fed Indiana do to you.
Gosh, all those hormones just pumping through me. So.
I tell you what, yeah.
But yeah,
right.
the whole play was essentially make sure that Jen got the ball. Like, I was not supposed to touch the ball at all. I was supposed to just block anyone that was around.
Were you
set
there?
Up
I think it was 7th grade. We played in 8th grade, I believe.
7th and 8th, I think, is when I played.
Okay, were you there when I scored 5 3-pointers in one game?
Oh yeah.
You were there?
Absolutely.
Okay, because you're like the only person, because not a goddamn soul was there to see it.
No.
So thank you, Ryan.
I've always
You
been
can
your
vindicate
biggest,
me.
Yeah.
I did score 5 3-pointers in one game.
I've always been your biggest athletic hype
Like
person
13
too.
years old, man.
That was impressive.
You
were good.
give yourself some credit though. You're very athletic yourself. You run cross country. Is there any other
cross country and track were my
and track too?
Yeah. So I was always a distance runner, but I also did the 4x4. Yeah.
So
went to state with Harding. Yeah.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
That's very impressive. And you got a scholarship, or there was something?
I was offered money. I kind of just blew it off. Once again, it was one of those things where I didn't want attention put on me, so I kind of just shirked it.
Did you ever consider going to college? Was that ever an
Oh,
option for you?
I did go to college. It was just not a matter of utilizing like an athletic scholarship at all. So.
Did you feel pressured in college? Like, was there pressure on you?
You know, honestly, like no. And I
Really?
think that here's the main thing is, and this is another thing that is just kind of like oddly off topic, but my first year of college, I smashed my entire face. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I literally got in a bicycle accident, smashed the entire side of my face. And
you're a biker too, by the way.
Yeah,
bicycle.
cyclist. Yeah,
bicyclist. Is that the right term?
Yeah, cyclists. But I mean, motorcycles as well. But,
yeah, that's right.
But yeah, no, I my first year of college, I looked like the Elephant Man, and so it was one of those things where I just didn't want to be in the public eye at all. I didn't want to be seen, and so I basically did my work and just tried to be as invisible as possible, just because I was. So
you did
heinous.
go invisible for like
I did
a long time.
Yeah, until I.
Ryan, I searched you.
Oh, I've made it a point to be almost
under several names, by the way.
Yeah, I know that's kind of crazy. It started early and then it hasn't stopped. Yeah, I've always had a weird thing about being kind of anonymous. So.
But your birth name is Ryan Staples.
Ryan Staples, yeah.
Right. Do you like your name?
I've always been a huge fan of my name. Yeah, I've always identified with it and been really thankful for like having an androgynous identity.
I love the name, by the way.
I
think
really
it fits you. You're unique. There's not another Ryan Staples out there.
Yeah, can you? I mean, there's a lot of Ryan Staples, but they're not this
this one.
Yeah, no, I feel like I really lucked out. I know that my mom has a lot of regrets about it.
Does she?
Oh yeah, I think that she thinks that's why I'm queer, is because of like the name influence, which is not the case whatsoever. But I mean, it did work.
Did she ever why did she name you that? Is there a reason?
Yeah, I mean, it's so there's a couple different reasons, but it stemmed from it was like a stupid, and I've never seen it, but like this ridiculous soap opera called Ryan's Hope. And so she was a fan of Ryan's Hope, and then on top of that, she had this dream, like this prophetic dream, where she like saw me as like an older human, and that she knew it was like her child, and so that's
interesting.
My dad did not want me to be named Ryan. He wanted me to. I think it was Stella, or like I think the other name was Penelope. Something ridiculous. Can you imagine if I were? Yeah. I don't think it would have worked as well. Stella Staples is pretty dope though. But no, I'm really,
that is kind of cool.
I'm pretty lucky.
It doesn't fit you. But,
no. Can you imagine? I'd be a completely different human.
I was gonna be Robert James.
Okay.
Because let me explain. My parents thought that I was going to be a boy. I don't know what the technology was back then of determining the gender of a baby, but they thought the whole time that I was a boy. They didn't even have a girl name picked out. And so.
And then they decided to go with Jennifer, which was like the most common name.
Well, because I have a very uncommon last name. That was the theme there. Doling is a very uncommon name. So I pop out as a girl, and they were just flabbergasted. Like, oh, what do we do? What do we do? We don't have a girl name picked out. So my dad was like, well, how about Angelisa?
Ooh, dang.
No, my dad had some
listen.
He had some thought behind this. He's like, she can go by Angela, Angie, Lisa. There's numerous things I can go by with that.
Yeah.
However, my mom later found out that's the name of his ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
so that was on that.
Nick.
So then my dad was like, well, okay, I don't care what you name her, but make sure her initials are J-E-D, because that's like huge in my family. Everybody's J-E-D.
Okay.
It's just, that's the thing in my family. So I'm Jennifer Elizabeth. J-E-D. And I'm never gonna get married, by the way. Like, I'm never changing my name. At 42 years old, I see no point.
I can't see myself getting married anytime soon.
And then if I did, which would be shocking, I would not change my name either.
Such an antiquated thing in the first place.
Are
So
you
ridiculous.
so this day and age? What's like your view on? Marriage is just, to me, it's overrated. I don't know if you have children and everything, marriage is great. But like the name, the whole family name, all that's fine.
Yeah.
I personally do not want children, and it took me years to say that out loud. Actually.
Really?
Oh yeah, and be okay with it. Yeah.
See, I'm just the opposite. I, for years, did not want children. And then, I don't know if it was the biological clock or what, but it hit, and I was like, I do truly think that I'm going to have a regret of not having children.
Oh, that's sad to hear.
I mean,
I've asked myself
not
that.
a huge, it's not like it's like terrible regret, because obviously I live a pretty wild lifestyle, so it's kind of
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like in my 20s, I totally wanted kids. And I
Oh.
almost married a man. Like, I was genuinely in love with him. Because I feel like I was born straight. I mean, really. People get seriously pissed off when I say that.
doesn't bother me one bit.
But
I'm sorry,
you
even in middle school,
cannot,
see your
you
queerness.
gotta explain the whole, up to almost 32, I came out gay at 32 years old.
Yeah,
I mean, it
that's
was like
wild to me.
it was like a drunken night.
That
And I'm
still
like,
blows my mind.
where's that been my whole life?
Yeah, no, that still blows my mind, because I swear in middle school, like, upon first meeting you, I was like, you are queer. You are.
I vaguely remember some conversations with you.
But like, and I didn't mean it as a negative thing. Like, I came out as being.
No, I know you
And
didn't.
also queer.
No, we had great
Queer. I'm
conversations.
using queer now, but at the time it was gay. But
I like the word queer, by the way.
Yeah, I do
really
too.
do.
I think it's more inclusive. But at the time, like,
It didn't start out that way, though.
No, I honestly thought it was just like you were gay or you were straight. You know, like,
Right.
for the longest damn time as like kids, essentially.
Me too.
But
But I honestly didn't know.
You were a part of the same youth group with me too, though, right? Did you go
Huh?
to fellowship missionary? No.
I've been there, but no, I was in. Trust me, I had my little bubble.
I got
Oh,
kicked
man,
out.
did I have
got
my
kicked out of
bubble.
youth group. I got invited
Not
to
me,
dinner, and
man.
they politely asked me not to come back because I asked too many questions.
That's what I did not do, is ask questions.
I was causing too much of. Well, I had questions about everything as a kid, though, but it was because I was reading everything, and so I mean, I would read things that would conflict like the normal. I truly wanted to believe. I truly
genuinely
wanted to
believe.
believe.
I genuinely believed it.
Well, I had so many questions, and no one was willing to actually answer those questions for me, or at least have a dialogue with like why things weren't matching up. And it had nothing to do with sexuality for me, not at all, because I didn't actually realize that I was queer until about 16. I knew that I was not interested in sex with men. I knew that.
Really?
I knew that. Yeah, that was pretty like. But I was also super hypersexual my whole damn life. Like I can't even remember a time where I wasn't thinking about sex, but it was never penetrative sex with men.
Okay.
It was always just like, I don't know. Yeah.
I was not hypersexual. I was like, Jesus is watching me shower. I'm serious.
Oh man,
I'm serious. I was very like, oh man, watch your P's and Q's because Jesus is watching.
Hell no, I did not have that feeling. I was always waiting for like somebody to. I was that weird kid that when my dad would.
Oh, you were weird. Like I said, I've been posting pictures
Oh.
from these yearbooks, by the way.
That was
most
very,
awkward.
very
Yeah,
odd
those
child.
big old glasses.
Oh, the big old wire frames. I look like
Yeah.
Daria.
Did your hair darken over the years, or do you just you dye it? Or I love your natural color. I really do. This color looks really nice.
My natural color is pretty cool. I finally come to grips with it as an adult, but yeah.
I think you've come to grips with a lot of things. I love that about you.
So just to mention, I am a natural redhead. And it's a dark red.
You have freckles. You don't really have
I
freckles.
still have freckles.
On your arms?
Yeah. Okay. No, I definitely don't read as a redhead as much as I used to, but I was a red.
Red.
Super redhead.
Unfortunately, the pictures here are black and white, but
yeah. Oh my god, I can't believe you're gonna show pictures though, because they're all
absolutely.
horrendous.
Yeah.
I just want to say the hairstyles were always my mom's doing. I never got to choose.
Hey, your hair. I had a mullet for 6 years.
Oh my god, you had the most rockin' mullet. It was incredible. I'm surprised you still rock a mullet.
I didn't know style back then. I didn't know what I was style-wise. I still don't know. Has your style changed over the years?
No. No, I I think that maybe I wear like a little bit tighter clothing than I used to, but no, not at all.
I love that about you because
Yeah, I'm
still
basically
haven't
the
found
same.
my
Like,
style.
I just, besides cutting my hair off, yeah, I think that I've always been almost the exact same. I guess that's not true because I wore a lot of Eddie Bauer back in the day.
Oh well, yeah.
A lot of Eddie Bauer. But then I also, do you remember, like, I was like the Eddie Bauer on the outside looking kind of like preppy old manish, and then underneath that it was like the cross colors and the FUBU, because I would go
FUBU. Oh yes,
would-
FUBU.
colors of
Filas.
Bennett United Filas.
Yeah,
I was always
yeah.
like, I was always like presenting as like almost like borderline yuppie on the outside, like hippie, maybe hippie.
Hippie. Yeah.
And then I would wear my secret clothing underneath. It was always like,
When I couldn't find you for 20
Black
years.
culture.
I mean, Facebook had come out, and I'm like, Ryan Staples, trying to type that in. I want to find Ryan Staples. So in my head, I was trying to picture what you were doing for the last 20 years. And I'm serious. Here's what I had you pegged as. Okay. I had you pegged as vegetarian. I don't know. I just
vegan for the majority of my life. Yeah.
majority. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're just a naturalist.
But I mean, I was a vegan even when we were like kids, though, here, and that no one talked about it. I just didn't eat meat. It wasn't.
We
like
didn't talk about it. We ate lunch together. That's all. Like I said,
It wasn't.
you were in the like super high classes. I did not have class with you. But we did eat lunch together, and my mom was the lunch lady.
Yeah, my mom was a lunch lady for a little bit
At Village Woods.
at Village Elementary and at Village Woods.
I don't think we worked together though.
Okay.
I don't remember any of that. But
My mom wouldn't have interacted with anyone anyway. She's kind of asocial.
okay. Yeah. My mom, I enjoyed those times until my mom was like, where you return your tray and she's washing it, and then I dumped my retainer in the trash can.
Yeah.
And she's the one I got to report to. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then when I got bubble gum stuck in my hair because I know it's really hard to believe, but I'm kind of short. And a taller person was chewing gum, and it just went right in my hair. And so my mom's serving food. Like, oh, well, come back here behind the serving line, and I'll get the peanut butter.
And
I'm like,
yeah.
I really can't get embarrassed, though.
See, that's amazing about you, because I basically, like, lived in a state of embarrassment.
I'm at
the whole
peace
time I
with
was a kid.
everything. My drinking days, all that. I don't care.
Mhm.
Life is too short to hold grudges, and live and learn, man.
Yeah.
And my back surgery, my most recent one, you talk about humbling. I mean, my whole life is changing. I can't play the sports anymore.
Right. It's really hard to be, like, highfalutin when you can't wipe your own ass.
Yeah, I couldn't wipe my own ass. That's why I got my cripple cart, though. Ooh, do I love my cripple cart. Now I got carts galore. Okay, so now I want to talk about you. We have some pins on you. They, them, and theirs, and we also have she, her, and hers.
Yeah.
I want you. Part of doing this
is
show.
Jen's doing, by the way.
Well, but we're gonna explain. Okay. So part of doing this show is not just to hang out with my friends, which I love, by the way, but is to educate the audience, and I'm learning too, you guys. So I have some flags here, and I want to talk to Ryan about.
I'd be way better at like flags of countries.
I got those, but they take up a lot of room. Okay, man, come on. It's just a small studio here. Okay?
Yikes. Yeah,
All
I
right,
only know
so-
trans. I know non-binary. I know the queer flag.
I bet you know all.
I know
these.
the bear flag.
Go ahead, try it.
Guessing.
Just go try it.
Ooh, I have no idea. I'm guessing like queers of color. No, maybe this one's queers of color. I don't know. This is obviously the gay flag.
Mhm.
This is trans flag. Ooh, I don't know about the pink one. Ooh, I can't even see that one. I have no clue. I know this is the bear flag. And is this like femme awareness?
Wow, you're terrible at this.
I'm so bad. I'm telling you, I do not.
I know more about flags than you do.
Well, this type of flag, yeah. I have not really ever like been super queer I mean, I'm queer identified, but like it's not the number one way that I identify. There's other things that define me more than
Absolutely,
flags.
yeah, I understand, and that's what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and let you know. So this is the lesbian flag.
We have
just a lesbian. I did not know that, and I promise you, I just don't identify with it. I don't feel like this is. I don't know what it is. I do not have a connection to that
I'm super
flag.
pro lesbian. Well,
Right.
I just don't identify as it. I identify as queer.
That's very interesting. I didn't know that. All right. This is lesbian lipstick lesbian. Did you know this one?
The femme. That's why I
Very
said
feminine
femme
women.
Yeah,
Yes.
femme awareness. So I kind of got that one.
You do like your femmes.
I do.
Is that your type?
If I were to have a type, it would be high femmes. Yes.
You do like the high
I
femmes.
do like the high femmes.
Do you have a celebrity crush?
I don't really crush much, but yes, I do.
Oh, baloney! Come on.
I don't crush much at all, actually. But yeah, Shannon Sossaman.
Who is that? Now I'm going to have to look it up and put the picture on there for you. You'll
Yeah.
make me do some work.
Oh God.
I hate editing. Come on. No, I'm
So
kidding.
sorry. Shannon Sossaman's like my celebrity crush.
What does she do?
She was an actress. I don't even know if she acts anymore, but she was in several things.
Sorry,
but
Peyton. I'm going to cover you up with some flags.
I'm guessing probably the only movie that you've seen that she was in was The Knight's Tale with Keith Ledger.
That's going way back.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I don't even think that she's a
I'll be looking that up
actress
when I edit
anymore.
it.
She was also a DJ, kind of like an LA scenester, but yeah, just Shannon Sossaman.
I do not care for the lipstick
Holy hell.
lesbians. I am into nerds.
Yeah.
Like glasses. Bonus if you got short hair, but you don't have to have short hair. But the smarter a person is, the more I'm turned on. And it's the femmes. I don't know.
Give me a
nerd.
fiery femme. Give me especially a smart fiery femme. I'm done.
Fiery is the key word there.
I do need.
You like them, then they can.
They have to hold their own.
Hold their own.
They have to be intelligent.
You don't like passive women.
I do not like a passive woman. I like them to be assertive. I want them to be actively involved in something. I want them to be passionate. I definitely want them to have their own shit going on, so I'm the focus of
totally
everything in their life. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm single, and it's just
man.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons.
Listen, there's a lot of reasons I'm single too.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that. I just don't know if I am into the monogamous. This is the only person you have sex with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna look at another person. I don't know if I buy into that anymore.
There's nothing wrong with.
There's nothing wrong with that. No. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I've
had it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of over it.
Well, you've been through some things. Your relationships,
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't have too many regrets. If that I really
That's
don't.
yeah.
I live my life, and
I have so
yeah.
many regrets. But I've also dated a lot more than you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is
Gross understatement. Yeah, I've got a few regrets. That's for sure. But I mean, for the most part, the people that I've actually actively dated, not many regrets.
Listen,
at all.
I've seen this happen live, where straight women love you.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, they throw themselves at you.
I've never had an issue getting a date.
No.
Sure.
You've had issues keeping them.
Yeah.
Ryan likes to talk, but this is why I love you, by the way.
Yeah.
No, really. I feel like I can tell you anything. You're definitely don't judge.
No,
At all.
I'm not here to judge anyone. Yeah.
No, but you're definitely an interesting perspective. We both our upbringing gave us that.
I would say so. Yeah.
So I want to go back to the reason I had two pins on.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yes. So I had Ryan and I had a discussion long before we filmed this about you coming out as non-binary. Now this is a new thing for you. Is that correct?
No, I would say I've always lived the life of non-binary as far as the terminology. Just probably,
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
So like recent terminology, yes, is non-binary. I actually identified and went by he/him pronouns for a long time in Seattle.
Oh yes, yes. Talk about that.
But
please.
I mean, I grew up in Fort Wayne as
with
she,
the name
her,
Ryan.
Ryan, she, her. And it was never everyone. It was not the trans thing. Wasn't a thing. No one even considered it.
Non-binary wasn't even a term. That was not a term.
No, not at all.
Back in the 90s. Come
Queer
on,
was
we're
just
90s children here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Indiana, everyone's always she and her me. I prefer they them, and I always had preferred they them, or just Ryan, just because I've always identified more as androgynous and non-binary. Yeah. So I have no problem with anything that anyone wants to call me pronoun wise, as long as it's coming from a place of respect. And
I like that.
yeah,
I like
I
that.
really don't have too much of an issue with it. I understand why some people would have a big issue with it. I definitely identified as trans for a long period of time.
Really?
Yeah, but it was also before like trans meant that you had to be not had, but more often than not that you were seeking hormone treatment and not, which I've always opted out of.
Okay.
Not that I fully support all
Sure,
trans folks,
sure.
but
But you didn't identify as male either.
no, I don't. No, I've never identified as male, but I definitely loved the male privilege of having people.
But you already got that. No, I mean, really.
Not anymore.
That's why
Not that I'm
straight women love you.
Yeah, well, now
just
I'm
have
just
that
turning into
aura
this
about-
aging lesbian. You see before you.
Me too. Me
Here we
too.
go.
Oh my goodness.
Hand me that flag. Where'd it go?
It's right here. That's the non-binary. No, that's the lesbian.
That's what I'm saying. I've never identified as a lesbian.
Me
but,
either.
like,
I promise you, I did not know that there was a lesbian flag. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. That's right. I don't. But I also like. What is this flag? Because that's
allies.
Oh, that's an.
So
ally
anytime
flag?
I have a straight person on my show, I'm gonna put the ally flag.
Okay. And then did you say what this one is?
So I'll go ahead and tell you what they are.
And are these all the flags? See.
Oh no, no,
Okay,
they are not. This is not all the flags. My goal is to have each guest. We'll have a conversation about flags.
Mm-hmm.
Each guest is going to teach me something new. I guarantee it. And bring me a flag. Send me a flag. I do have a PO box, by the way. I opened a PO box.
Yeah.
So you can if people can send me things.
Fun.
PO box 146 Ossian, Indiana 46777. Ossian is spelled Ossian. Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, send me cool stuff. Flags, particularly, and artwork, man. I love artwork. So yeah, I'm a big artist. So, anyways, okay. So I'm gonna tell you the flags. So we got the lipstick lesbian.
Okay.
All right.
It's pretty apparent.
And then we already talked about this lesbian over here.
Do they mirror each other if you put them up? No, they don't.
I don't know.
Huh.
I have no clue about that.
Let me see. Can I see those?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm just curious now.
I got them from different things. They're different sizes. They don't go together.
No, I know. I was just wondering if they.
Okay. Let me explain.
They do actually mirror each other.
Oh, you're right. It's the same background
just
with lips on it.
lipstick.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So here's that's the lesbian part of things, and then of course there's the gay flag, which we all kind of identify with. Honestly, the gay flag is just everybody just kind of embraces that. But this is one of my favorites. It's the bear flag.
That one I knew. Go.
So this is for men that are more hairy and beefy, like a bear. I mean, really. And then there's cubs and
Otters. They're my personal favorite.
So what is an otter?
An otter.
What is an otter?
They're basically like a more slender. They're in between.
Are they hairy or are they non-hairy?
Yes, they're hairy.
Oh,
so
they are.
They're like in between the bear and the twink.
What's a
the
twink?
otter.
What's a twink?
A twink is a youthful, slender.
Because I've heard the term cub.
Cubs are like I don't know.
See, we're not gay men. But do they have a flag too? So audience, I'm asking you, like,
if the Cubs have a flag.
Yeah, I am gonna have a bear on my show here in the near future, and I really want to pick his brain about that.
If I'm gonna go to a gay club, it's gonna be a bear club.
We have one in Fort Wayne. So we have a bear den.
I know. Yeah. That's where you'll find me. If I'm gonna go, like
I
said,
love it. I love it down there. I really do. I love everybody's.
I'll infiltrate their space. Like
it's great.
Yeah.
So okay, this is oh god, we've lost it. Asexual.
Okay. I could.
I think.
Yeah.
Trans, obviously. Ally. This one's bisexual. That one I know. Bisexual.
Know that one.
Yep. Yeah, I think this one's asexual.
Okay.
And then, so we have your non-binary flag. I just dropped the bisexual flag. Sorry, bisexuals. No disrespect.
Pretty cool. All right. The asexual one, oddly enough.
It's very similar.
Just yellow?
At the top.
Okay. And so gray?
Okay, so Ryan, I have had, and I haven't told you this, but I've had, in the past, I would say 6 months since I've been wanting to do this show and everything, I need 2 hands to count how many women that have had children come to me and tell me that they're always a daughter That's another thing I want to talk to you about. It's always their daughter, and just coincidentally, all of them are over 18, but has come out as non-binary and wants to change their name as well.
Okay.
So this is what I want to talk to you about. I didn't have any words for these parents, other than just be compassionate, of course, and of course. But one of them said to me, "I gave birth to a daughter, and that is all I know."
Yeah.
And it's not a disrespect. She clearly loves her daughter,
But
but
it's not not respecting the choice to be seen as non-binary.
yeah. And then there's the fact of sexuality, which is completely different than
Absolutely.
gender.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
boy, do I want to hit home with that. Your gender is different than your sexuality. And I think, okay, so my question to you, and I want to do some more research on this, or maybe I don't know. It seems to me, maybe it's coincidence, but it seems to me that most of the people who are coming out as non-binary are females, born female. Is
See,
this something you've experienced?
I would 100% disagree with that and say
Okay.
that it is like a 50-50 sort of thing.
Because I don't
And
personally know any.
I think the reason why it's probably been people coming to you to speak on that is because like cis-born females who then come out as non-binary or as trans are still somehow lumped in as queer women, and for some reason people are so reluctant to allow queer women to identify as non-binary. I don't know why that is. Like they're just still seen as lesbians, and it's really kind of unfortunate.
Because
But I think that's probably why
let's be
they're
honest,
coming to you
technically
is
you
because they don't
do.
see a difference between.
But technically, you
being
do
a lesbian.
identify as a lesbian. Is that correct?
I mean, if I had to, if somebody, I'm not going to be offended if somebody calls me a lesbian.
Okay,
About that,
alright.
because
I get that,
I have
yeah.
sex with. I am cis female, and I have sex primarily with cis female individuals.
You are not a cis female.
I am cis female.
What is that meaning then? Maybe I don't know the meaning.
That I was born with a vagina. I identify as non-binary, but I am a cis.
Man, I'm learning so much. See, this is why.
Yeah.
Can you explain the psychological struggle of what non-binary means? What goes through your head? That's what I want to know. I want to understand.
I wouldn't say it was a struggle at all. It was just a matter of not ever identifying like I feel cringy when people call me girl or lady, and I always have.
Oh yeah,
I
don't even feel comfortable with.
So
I mean, I don't correct them. I don't get mad,
Yeah,
but it's just not something like cringy. There it is.
it's
just
so cringy.
Yeah.
But so it's one of those things where I definitely have embraced and lived a more masculine lifestyle in general. I do want to touch on the fact that I think that it's almost unfortunate. I do identify as non-binary, but sometimes I have this like lesbian guilt because I feel like
I'm interested. Okay.
because I feel as if like we're kind of erasing like lesbians in general.
Ooh.
Like you no longer see or hear about like butch identified individuals or just lesbians in general, unless we're talking about some sort of like sexualized context that usually is in the male gaze. And so I actually feel like I feel guilty that I don't identify as a lesbian a lot of times.
I don't even know what to say to that.
But I know, but it's one of those things where like I do feel like there's this huge movement that let's just talk about TERFs, like the trans exclusive radical feminist, and then there's like a bunch
hold on, you're gonna have to explain that to the audience. This is I've watched a little bit on this. Explain what it is.
Trans exclusive radical feminist is usually a cis female that doesn't want to hold space for folks that aren't cis female. But want to like carve out their own space for cis female individuals.
So like they're offended by, say, a trans female taking over. It's terrible.
Not taking over, but trying to participate in lesbian exclusive events. And I actually think that there's like really, really like a toxicity about the TERF thing and having people be like punch a TERF in the face.
Right now, that is very big.
Yeah, so we're gonna have violence bestowed upon these marginalized humans in the first place because they want to have space of their own. I don't
get it. Like it
doesn't make sense to me at all. So in a weird way, by identifying as well, and I did identify as trans for a long time, but now I don't feel comfortable identifying as trans because I don't take hormones, and I no
Right.
longer live
I get
as,
that. I
as
really
a
get
trans
that part.
individual. So non-binary is
But
how
you
I
did live
identify.
as a man. Like,
not as a man ever.
no.
No,
What I'm
but
saying is
BOI. I identified as a boy.
BO.
BOI. So I identify.
Explain that.
So I've never had an interest in being a man. That's never been a thing that I've remotely wanted, but I definitely loved the safety and the privilege of being a boy and walking through the straight and queer world with the confidence of a young man.
Well,
Or
you had told me in Seattle, you were a bicyclist. What was your title in Seattle?
I was a bike messenger for years.
Which is, I think that's just awesome. I think that's pretty cool.
It's pretty.
In
badass,
Seattle
I'm not
too.
gonna lie.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna.
That was pretty sweet.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
But you said this is what you told me a while ago. You said that you pretty much identified as a we'll go with boy, BOY.
BOI. Not BOI.
BOI.
BOI, not BOY. I never.
BOI.
Yeah.
The letter I.
Yes.
As an igloo.
As an igloo.
Okay, I got it. Okay, this is new to me. I'm learning. Okay, so what you told me back then is that you didn't like get your driver's license changed and all that crap.
No.
But people thought you were a boy, BOI.
Besides
because your name's Ryan, you didn't have to change nothing about yourself.
Yeah, I didn't have secondary sex characteristics at all. Like I was just kind of this little.
You didn't have breasts.
I didn't have breasts.
You were kind of
at
small.
all. Yeah, it was
you
slight, just kind of like a little.
You would have been a twink.
Yeah. Yeah. I was a little andro twink for most of my life until I moved back to Indiana.
And then
this
corn
dyke.
Corn fed, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm learning so much, and but I've had a lot of people come to me about the whole non-binary thing, and I want to understand so bad. I get the feeling of, because see, I think gender and sexuality, by the way, is just extremely fluid.
Oh yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
So I have plenty of masculine traits in my personality. I have plenty of feminine traits, and trust me, my style has changed over the years. I've been femme. I wore a suit with a skirt and pantyhose, you guys, as a public speaker for like 2 years.
It's wild.
I'll show some pictures of that.
Oh God.
I don't have any pictures of the skirt.
Please tell me you're gonna show like so many pictures of your luscious mullet though. I feel like you need to show like
in those yearbooks, man.
Like such a great mullet. Like, legendary mullet.
Well, there it is, right there. That's the mullet.
Yeah.
I was 18 years old right there when I drew that.
Were you at Northrop?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because my parents divorced, so I didn't get to graduate from Harding, where Ryan and I both went. But I want to take a break here because we are going to come back and we are going to talk about our arrest stories. Both.
We're just jumping right into
Nope. I need to get a drink before this.
That's what got you into the mess. That's what got you into the mess. Was it
Wrong. I'll explain.
Burgers. Winter streets. Oh, your shirt's open.
Welcome back. I managed to get my drink of you can't see it, my iced tea that I make myself, by the way. Make the tea, make the ice cubes. The water is reverse osmosis. Yeah. Right now we got skulls.
Oh yeah.
Skull ice cubes.
Those are so great.
I don't know. Maybe you can see it.
They're really cool.
They're really cool. I have baseballs too, but they're kind of annoying to make, and they don't always turn out so well.
These skulls are impeccable.
Yeah, this is the only thing I do right with nutrition. All right, here's to Ryan Staples. Be my first guest.
Solid.
Love it. Growing up in the ghetto, 2 white girls, loving life, baby.
Some people have a problem with saying
we
that
did
it was
turn
a
out
ghetto.
pretty good, though. You gotta admit, we both do well.
Yeah.
We both do well. This is the only thing I'm doing right nutrition-wise nowadays. Because, I went on that whole 3 year of no sugar and everything. Is that I do not drink my sugar.
Gotcha.
Coffee, I drink black. Love my coffee. I had to force myself to like coffee.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I've always been into coffee.
Love coffee now. Gotta have my
This
coffee.
is great, though. Good to you.
Right, thanks. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about our arrest stories. I'll let Ryan go first, and then I'll tell mine. And then after that, I have a list of like random questions that Ryan doesn't really know too much about what questions I'm gonna ask. But no, they're fun. They're fun. I
Yikes,
promise,
okay.
they're fun.
All right.
And of course, this goes for any guest. If I ask a question and you just don't like it, we'll edit it out, man. I'm getting pretty good at editing, by the way. I learned how to use the razor tool on Premiere Pro, in case anybody cares. Okay, so
All right.
all right.
There we go.
So Ryan, tell your arrest story. Take us back to what year it was, where it was. I love this story.
Oh god, it's
Go for it.
horrendous. It was life changing. Let's start out
Sure.
let's start out with the fact that I was such a good kid. Like I was pumped.
You were.
Like
I would agree with that.
yeah, I didn't get in trouble. I didn't really do anything. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I was like
Really?
straight edge until 21.
Like
Yeah.
you just started drinking at 21. Then.
And even then, not really. It took me until like my mid 20s before I actually started like drinking. But yeah,
I didn't drink till late either, but like I said, I was religious for.
Yeah, I identified as vegan straight edge for a while.
Straight edge. What does that term mean?
Basically, well, like you abstain from alcohol, from drugs, and some people abstain from sex. I personally did not.
What does sex have to do with being a vegan?
No. Or no, the straight edge thing is just abstaining from substances that you put in your
Oh,
body.
I got you. Okay, all right.
So
fair enough.
yeah, I was not into drinking until later in life. But yeah, okay, so it's 2008. I've been a pretty upstanding like person throughout my life. That doesn't mean I was necessarily like the most legally upstanding. It was just like morally upstanding.
Where
what
is
I'm
this
saying?
in Seattle?
This is in Seattle.
Okay.
2008. I'm like kind of going through like this like odd like breakup, kind of feeling like the first like emotional like riffs of like moving back to Seattle, trying to figure things out, and I had a whole bunch of bikes stolen from me.
Bicycles.
Bicycles,
right?
yes, like a whole.
And that
fleet
was
of
your
them.
job at the time.
Yeah, it was my
You
livelihood.
needed those bikes.
It was my livelihood, and
You even sold bikes too as a store. Like you
for
are
my whole life. Yeah, I've been
cyclist.
very
Yeah.
much into
Yep.
bikes.
Got any cyclist questions or anything? You can definitely ask Ryan in the comments.
Yeah. so it was basically my livelihood had been just wiped out. I get home, they're gone, and so I make a couple quick phone calls, and I'm like, who can let me borrow a vehicle? Because I had a race coming up, the North American Cycle Courier
Oh, you were
Championship.
competitive with it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I had a race, the North American Cycle Courier Championships coming up, and I needed to get a bike built like stat. So I make some phone calls. I've got like a box of parts and like a frame that I'm gonna build up so I can race. And this chick who I ended up dating for too long,
Shocker.
my only real regret as far as somebody I dated, because she was
What?
actually my evil. She was like my only evil.
I'm calling BS on that. You got a lot of dating regret.
Yeah, but no, most of the people that I've dated are really sound, good humans, I would say. They just weren't for me.
I've met some people you've dated that were. I agree with that.
Yeah, most
cool.
of the people that I've dated are actually pretty
I
good
agree with
humans.
that. Sure.
So anyways,
The ones I met anyway. But yeah.
long story short, I'm like desperate to get this bike built up. I make some phone calls. This woman's like, you can take my brand new, just off the lot, less than like a couple 100 miles, like Honda Accord.
What?
Take it. Just take it.
It was a new car?
It was absolutely brand new.
I didn't know this.
It was like pre-release too, so it was like
What?
the year like before it was supposed to be released. Cause she was like, yeah. So it's like this brand new car.
They were good cars, man.
You know, it's a reliable vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It got me where I
Running from police, though,
running
you know.
from cops. so the day took a turn. The day definitely took a turn. So I'm already like pissed because I've got thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bikes that are just
Yes,
gone.
this is a big deal.
Just gone. It's a huge deal. I've got nothing right, like besides like a cruiser that was locked up that they didn't steal on the outside. I can't race that. So I get a hold of my like bike messenger, bike mechanic friend, and he's like, "Get down here, bring me the parts. We've got this." So this woman comes, she drops off the car, she takes like a car service back. I'm in the car, I'm running around grabbing the parts that I need. I go down to Shorty's in downtown Seattle. I meet up with the guy. I'm like, all right, here we go. Let's do this. By the way, shout out to Rodrigo because he's a badass. But so anyways, I forget like crank arm, and I need to go back to my house
What's
to
a
get
crank
it.
arm?
Crank arm, that's the part that the like pedals that like you actually have the gears go.
It's part of the pedal.
It's part. Yeah, it's what's attached to the gear, the front gear,
Okay.
and the pedal.
Well, come here, Randy.
Anyway, so I need to run back home to get that.
You
I
want to
leave
hear
my
Ryan's
messenger
arrest
bag.
story. He wants to hear. Yep. Hi, Remy.
He's so cute.
Yep.
His little shirt's popping. Right
He's
off.
a Reds fan.
Yeah. Why wouldn't he be? It's
Well,
in the family.
Daisy's a Colts fan.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Different sports. Fun.
It's, he identifies with Reds. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
So,
sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. No worries. I feel like I'm taking a long time. On
No,
this
this
anyway.
is, listen, I want to
Like-
dedicate an entire section for our arrest stories.
Well,
Keep it going. I am
pretty
fully
sure the
engaged in this.
statute. Pretty sure the statute of limitations is over on this, so I think it's okay to talk about. But so in my rush to go and get the crank arm, I leave my messenger bag with Rodrigo at Shorty's, and I jump in this car that's not mine, and I take off from downtown Seattle like fucking bat out of hell because I've only got so much time. We got to get this done. It takes a little while to build up a bike, especially out of random ass parts. So I take off and I'm like going down Fifth Avenue, and I'm like going, like I'm like cutting in and out of traffic. I'm definitely driving like an asshole. Like I'm driving like
You're
ride.
mad.
I'm mad, and also
yeah.
I've been a bike messenger for like years at this point, and so I'm driving.
Well, that's
like
how you ride a bike. When
Yeah.
So
I'm like going, and so all of a sudden I see the boop boop, and like the lights are behind me, and I'm like, fuck me. So I pull over, no problem, and I'm very polite to the officer. I'm like, I'm sorry, officer. Yes, I was going a little fast. Yes, I was driving a little recklessly. Here's the story. I'm just trying to get home. I've got a race tomorrow. And the guy's like, well, whose car is this? I'm like, it's my friend.
Which is true.
Yeah. And I'm not really friends with this woman.
But she let you drive her car.
She's letting me borrow this brand new
She
vehicle.
don't know you at all.
She knows me because she had stalked me for years.
Oh.
This woman had actively everything that I was doing in life.
Only
she
you,
was up
Ryan.
on it.
Only you, Ryan.
She showed up to all the events. She was like, would anything I post on the internet, she was on it.
Oh yeah,
if I wrote it, she read it.
I call them trolls.
Holy shit! Yeah,
Yeah.
she was definitely a troll. In more ways than one. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, friend. He's like, so like your girlfriend? And he does air quotes, and I'm like,
The
ugh.
cop.
Yeah. So I'm like, ew. And I was like, what do you mean by my girlfriend? He's like, you heard me, your girlfriend. And I was like, no, I said a friend. And I was like, what would it matter? And he's like, oh, now you're gonna get lippy with me? We're gonna have to do this the hard way.
Oh, he is definitely.
Oh, he was
not de-escalating anything. He is.
Yeah,
that is a lousy cop. I will say.
I'm already in a bad mood.
Oh yeah.
I'm already pissed, and so I'm like, I guess we will do it the hard way. Okay. And you know that I've always had a problem with authority in general.
I've heard this story before, and I'm still like, whoa.
So I'm like, okay, we'll do it the hard way. I throw it in gear. Now, right as I throw it in gear, there's another cop that he tries to jump through him, hit the gear shift, and so he's halfway in the car. So I'm palming this cop's head and pushing him out as I'm going up a street off of Fifth Avenue, right by where my bike messenger station was. So mortified. There's my friends are riding by. They're like, "What's up, Staples?" It sucked. And so I end up taking the cops almost the whole squadron of Seattle. We're talking about multiple units on me, chasing me from downtown Seattle all the way to almost Leshai and Madrona Leshai area. And so at one point I'm going through the International District, and there's these cute little old Asian couples walking across the street, straight up action film stuff. And I'm slowing down and making sure that I'm not going to cause any harm. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I was being very.
Why?
I was speeding
You were just pissed off.
I was angry.
It's really all it was.
If we were going to do it the hard way.
You didn't have any. Well, it wasn't in your car, but you didn't have anything.
I wasn't drunk. I wasn't. There was nothing except for me being
just pissed off at a lousy officer. I do want to make that clear.
Well,
that was wrong
of him
to
your
say that.
Girlfriend, and literally air quoting.
And what if you would have said, yeah?
Yeah.
What would have been? What would have mattered?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Anyways, it was a horrible mistake. But anyways, I take
right. Well, both of us, yeah.
Yeah, I take the cops for a long ass. I don't know if it still is, but for the longest time, it was the second fastest and longest car chase in Seattle. Kind of oddly proud of it. LCD sound system.
That's awesome.
LCD sound system. Pumping in
Ryan,
longest car,
second longest car chase in Seattle, Washington.
I don't know if it's still the case, but yeah,
it could have been chased by now.
Anyways,
perfectly sober.
Oh, perfectly sober. Yeah. And no reason except for that I was upset and he pissed me off. There was no other reason. I have this thing where I have if I don't know. yeah, I'm not gonna get into it, but I obviously have always had some issues with authority, and then this guy being a douchebag, it just triggered me, and I was like, fuck it, like let's go.
Well, you've always been.
I've always been able to get out of most rough situations.
Yeah,
too. I think
because you're sly.
Well, and I've also
you are sly.
And I'm charming. Like I'm
very
polite.
extremely charming.
I'm polite. I'm charming, and
your body language is always very good. Like you
don't mean any like disrespect to almost anyone. But,
right.
Yeah. So like,
but when you talk though, sometimes
I wasn't.
Words come out of your mouth sometimes.
Yeah, I do get a little sharp with my tongue. It's true.
Yeah. See, I love that about you.
Yeah. I have a hard time filtering what I'm thinking.
Yeah. You've learned some things, but
I'm
definitely
getting better. I'm getting better at my old age. But yeah, I've always had that sharp tongue. You piss me off, it's coming out.
So what happened after?
So I'm going through the international district. Literally, there's like carts with boxes piled up, and I'm like, ugh, like going around them. At one point,
are you speeding? You truly speeding? And the cops are literally on your tail.
Literally a car chase. Like this is like straight up.
God.
And so at one point, I'm going up Yesler, which if you're familiar with Seattle, is a very, very steep hill. It's like super steep. And I'm going up, and there's a truck that's parked, like a delivery truck parked over here. There's a truck coming down this way, and I'm like, there's nowhere for me to go. There's cops behind me, and so I emergency brake it. I have no idea.
It was a manual transmission?
You have no, it was not. I didn't
Damn.
know. I did not know what was going to happen at all. But it was either hit or get hit, and so I did that, pulled it hard to the side, and it pulled off. I don't know how. I didn't know what I was expecting, but it pulled off. I ended up making it less than a block away.
Are you a good driver? Like,
I would say that I'm an above average driver. I now drive like a grandma.
Oh, I drive like a grandma
but it's also
on Sunday morning on our way to Old Country Buffet.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5.0 Mustang.
Yeah, I was
435 horsepower. Yeah, with Flowmasters on it.
You should let me drive.
I love everybody. You have driven my car.
I have.
Don't act like you haven't picked me up at the bar, drunk off my ass.
That's true.
And then left your junky car at the bar. Saved my ass. I'm serious. You saved my ass.
I always will. I mean, you don't drink anymore, but I won't.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. No, you've definitely saved me a time or two. Yeah. So they arrested you, or what?
So it's not. That's not even the end of it. So
I know. Yeah.
I end up making it a block, like less than a block away from where I lived, and as I'm
where you were trying to go,
I take a left, and right as I take a left over the hill, I see this police, like the car come over, like police car, and they just hit me on that side. I get hit on the other side, like
you wrecked.
So like I get like pinned between two patrol cars, and they spin me around, and I like hit my head. I'm like in shock from like getting hit from both sides, and I'm like, my foot keeps hitting like the gas, like I can't stay on the pedal because I'm like shaking, and so I keep getting closer and closer to this building. There's people standing on there.
That is a bad day.
Yeah, it was a bad day. It gets worse. So I'm like looking at it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fucking hit this building, and I'm like, like literally my whole body's convulsing, and they're like, put your hands in the air, so I can't put it in drive. So like, I've got multiple cops.
Oh, they got guns
on me.
Guns at you.
Yeah, I don't even make it out of my, like, I think one jumps through, undoes my seatbelt, and they pull me through the window. And they end up just throwing me around. They beat the shit out of me.
Damn.
This is right before they did, like, they reformed the Seattle police.
2008. So.
Yeah, 2008. It was right before they reformed, like, there was a lot of issues with police brutality in Seattle at the time, and whoop, I got my ass handed to me. I was, like, missing skin. I still have scars from it. They threw me around a lot. They whooped my ass because to them I couldn't.
They had to think that you had a reason to run.
Yeah, no criminal history. Nothing.
Right.
Like, literally, there was like nothing in the car that was illegal.
Wasn't even your car, but you had permission. It wasn't reported stolen or
no,
anything.
not at all. Not reported. So there was no reason for me to get my ass kicked except for I did run.
You ran a lot.
I did run.
You pissed them off,
and
you wrecked.
You wrecked them right off. Well, they wrecked me.
Oh, it's even worse.
No. Like I said, I was taking the left.
That's a bad day.
I got hit on both sides. It's a brand new vehicle, demolished, just demolished.
Wow.
So anyways, I end up like I put my hand down and I put it into park, and right as I do a park, I get pulled straight out, just like straight out the window. And then when my ass handed to me, I get lucky because this random like younger police officer just jumps on top of me. It's like stop, because he had followed me the whole time, so he saw that like. he saw that I was like being cognizant and aware of any
Yeah,
pedestrians.
he knows you're not drunk, probably. He
Well,
knows.
and he
like,
also knew like the cops were putting people in more danger than I was. They were
This is
driving like
true. This is
assholes,
true.
whereas I was going home. I told them where I was, and that was my mistake too. Is I told them where I was going,
Oh,
and then so they
yeah.
already knew where I was going. They were
Yeah.
waiting for me, but like. So anyways, this young cop, he would like follow the whole way. He ends up like saving my ass. He throws me in the back, and I'm like sitting there, and I'm bleeding from various places. Like I got my ass whooped.
Wow.
So I'm bleeding from various places, and I'm still like just like shaking, like my body's like just convulsing. And he turns around and he's crying, and I'm like literally at this point I'm crying too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like
Sure.
fuck. Like I'm like hyperventilating. Sure. I just literally like got stomped. And he turns around and he's like, I don't know you. That was gangsta. and I laughed because like, what else are you gonna do?
That was seriously gangsta.
Yeah. He's like, that was gangsta. So he ended up coming to all my court cases.
Oh.
Yeah, he spoke on my behalf in the fact that like I ended up getting charged for it. It was
your actual arrest?
Reckless driving.
That's it. That's
all
you got.
I literally, yeah. Well, no. It was a
Did you have to pay for the wreck car?
I got a felony.
No, that is a felony.
I got a felony.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
I mean, it was not. Yeah.
That is a felony.
Yes.
But you're fortunate. You have no arrest record. You have no.
No, I have no priors or anything like that.
What happened with the car and the friend?
Car was total.
No, I mean, like, did you have to pay insurance?
Okay, so
how's that work?
This is how I ended up dating my only true regret of somebody that I've dated is that she was.
You dated her after that?
I had to. Right? I was beholden. I was
man, you owe her now.
Like, kept. Yeah.
You owe her now.
She was from a very wealthy family. Like, I'm not gonna drop any names or anything, but like a fairly her family was in cahoots with a very famous Seattle entity.
Okay.
And yeah, so one weird thing about it is I had just taken the cops on a huge like chase. Cops had gotten in accidents. There was a lot of collateral damage that happened for this whole thing. I got out in like an hour. Their family's legal team
from
was
court,
like,
you mean?
No, not from court. From the actual when they arrested me. I didn't even spend the night there. They got me right out. Yeah, I was like in and out.
I'm jealous
quick.
of that.
Maybe more than an hour. The whole thing was a little skewed.
Stupid hard bench in jail for.
Well, it ended up biting me in my ass because.
Well, duh.
Yeah, because I was beholden to her and her legal team. I thought I was going to prison. I thought I was going to prison for forever because of it. Because that's the consequence. I didn't obviously go to prison, but
you got a felony now.
I do have a felony now.
It's such a dumb felony, man. If you're gonna get a felony, make it good. Yeah.
Well,
but you did get.
I'm not gonna lie. To this day, it was still one of the most exhilarating moments of my life. Like when I die, at least I'll be able to say that I went on a high speed chase through a metropolitan city.
It's really badass. I do give you credit for it. And the cop even thought it was badass.
And legit pulled some moves that I really honestly didn't know what was gonna come of them, but it was like I'm gonna hit this or be hit, so this is it, and have them work out. I was literally like listening to LCD sound system, just screaming like woo, like hitting hills and like catching air like
in a Honda Accord.
In a Honda Accord. Yeah.
I mean, weed was legal at that time too in Seattle, Washington, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but you weren't even high. You were nothing. Like you.
See, technically, I did have a little bit of alcohol in my system,
but not. They didn't charge you, so obviously you weren't.
Well. Yeah, it was just.
So don't do that. Don't do that, guys.
It was a bad day, and I made bad decisions.
Don't just run for the police for no reason.
Or do it, but just get a good legal team.
If you got money, I mean, money solves a lot of problems, but that felony has followed you, and
it's really changed.
It has.
It's changed the direction of my life again. Because of the felony, it ended up resulting in me having other legal issues, just because everyone's
you apply for jobs and everything else.
Yeah, so it's definitely been something. It was a poor decision. It's definitely affected a lot of my life. Do I regret it? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But is it a cool story? Hell yeah!
If I were in the same situation, I have a feeling I would do it again.
Oh damn!
That's the unfortunate thing about it. I don't know. I just make poor choices sometimes.
So my arrest story was Exactly that. A slew of poor choices after poor choices after poor choices that just added up.
Mm.
So I'll go into my arrest story. It was 2000, either 12 or 2013, somewhere in there. And I can summarize it very simply. I put that shit in reverse and drove away. But it didn't start with that. So I left. It was dark out. It was cold as hell. It was like when I went to go watch the football game with my friends. It was like a beautiful day out, and then by the time the game was over, it was like frost covered all over my car. And it was I called it my beater with the heater. It wasn't my Mustang at the time. I had a beater with the heater, but the thing is, the heater didn't work.
Oh,
So
it's just a beater.
it was just a beater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
the defrost didn't work either.
Ooh, yeah.
So
that's right.
I'm out. I get out of this game that I was at, and I'm trying to warm the car up. I don't have at this point in the time. It was like November-ish or something, and I wasn't prepared. I didn't have a scraper for my car, and the defrost doesn't work or the heat doesn't work.
Damn.
So I'm like, I gotta get home, but I used like my credit card and like scraped like a hole in front of the driver's thing, and I thought, that was first poor decision. I thought I can make it home just with this little hole. You know what? I'm gonna Ace Ventura this. You know what that is?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm only 5'2", so the hanging out the window is really hard for me because, well, I'm short, but I thought I could do it. I really did. So I'm hanging out the window. It's freezing cold, by the way, and it's like 2 a.m.
How many drinks deep are you at this point?
No, listen. Alcohol didn't hit that car.
Oh.
I'm really serious about this, guys. I'm really serious. I do not have any arrests for alcohol. Alcohol didn't hit the car. Ace Ventura hit that car.
So dumb.
Because the poor decision to, I thought it was a car that was never parked there. I didn't know whose it was. I honestly did not know at the time whose it was. I knew some people in that area, but I didn't know. It's 2 a.m. It's freezing cold. I had no coat, nothing. Ace Ventura hanging out the window, hit that car, and I'm like, look, I'm going to deal with this in the morning because I don't know whose is it. I just don't know. I am not knocking on people's door without a coat on. I didn't have a letter to leave, a note or not. Like, it was just poor decision after poor decision. Yeah. And I go and park the car. I have a garage. I could have parked that shit in the garage, and this would have never known. And you know what I mean? But I just thought, well, I'm going to take care of this in the morning. So I just park it right in front of my car, my house anyway, which is kind of around the corner, facing everything. It was just, again, all done. I'm not saying I really had intentions of taking care of it in the morning.
Yeah.
But I was really cold too, guys. It was just freezing. And I'm just like, screw this. I'll take care of this in the morning. Well, of course, the morning comes around. And they come right to my door. And
well, that's convenient. At least they can be
Sorry. Well, he actually gave me the option. He said, well, you want to drive to the police station? I'm like, sure. So I drive to the police station. And they got me on video in my interrogation because I ended up representing myself in court, which don't do that.
Yeah, always get a legal team. That's
right.
Always get a legal team.
Another poor decision. I made, seriously, all poor decisions. My favorite thing about the whole thing, though, was when they sent me the interrogation video.
Yeah.
Because I had everybody's like written statements. Because again, I'm representing myself in court, so I had all their stuff, and I knew. Anyway, so in the video, he goes like this. He puts this. He has this item in his hand. He goes, puts it on the table, and he goes, "You know what this is?" And I was like, cocky as hell. I'm like, "Nope." And he goes, "This is that man's taillight. You know where I got it?" And I was like, "Nope." I'm serious. And then he goes, "I got this taillight. I pulled it out from your front bumper."
Oh no. Oh no.
And I mean, he's going hard at me, and I instantly now listen. I watch a lot of crime shows. Like I like to say that I know a little bit, dabble in the justice system
from watching crime shows. Yeah.
Right, but I'm completely naive though. Really, I mean, I've never been arrested before, so this is very, very new for me, and it's scary. I was scared too, but it doesn't look like it in the video. So after he puts down the table, and my instant response, there's like a pause, and I'm super badass. I'm just like, that is circumstantial evidence. Here's why I did that. Technically, it is circumstantial evidence. He could arrest me on the spot, but it technically is circumstantial evidence. Here's the thing. Growing up where we grew up, I've never been in trouble. But what I did learn from growing up where we grew up is that deny. Like, that's all I knew about getting in trouble. Is just deny.
Just shut up.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
Don't
Caught me in the shower. It wasn't me.
The less you speak, the better. Yeah.
And it's terrible advice. Don't do. It just, if I would have just owned up and walked over there and like that next morning, just like, hey guys, I'm gonna. Sorry, I'm gonna take care of the insurance. But no, I did not know that was the best route. I denied.
Yikes.
So they put a warrant out for my arrest, and I never did. Like I said, I didn't get a legal team, but I did go buy a nice, sharp, like business suit.
Nice.
And a little like
you look the part.
Right, and like a little briefcase.
Yeah.
And I didn't wear glasses at the time, so I bought some like little reader glasses. I mean, seriously, I was like looking the part of defending myself. So they put a warrant out for my arrest, and they got me like. It's a small town. Everybody knows me, and like literally, the cops like, I know Jen's gonna be home on a Monday night because it was football, and I don't even drink at home like ever. I don't drink anymore now, but back then I was a social drinker. So the one night I'm at my house, Monday night football, I'm like 5 beers into my night, all by myself.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm 5 beers in, and you know that knock, and so he arrested me, and. You know it's a small town when the cops like, hey, you want to go feed Dewey and Ducky before we go? Like, he knew the names of my animals at the time. I'm like, yeah, actually I would. So they take me in, and it was all BS. But I'm trying to think where I'm going with this. Because I was drunk, I don't remember what I blew, but he came to my house. Like, I was drinking in my own house.
Wait, at the time of your arrest?
Yeah, because they served my warrant. And he came and got me later. This is like several days later. So, because I was drunk at the time of my arrest, remember, this is days later, not at the time that I hit the car.
Yeah. Okay,
and drove away. I'm telling you, it was Ace Ventura. It was stupid decisions. Don't drive with a hole in your windshield, hanging out the thing. You're terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible idea. Anyways, but many days later when they served my warrant, so what it is, when you are in jail, you have to wait until you blow zero, whatever. Yeah. So I had to spend I was like 5 or 6 hours in jail on that hard ass bench with like, oh god. So I spent some time in jail, but so the court case, I get to court, and they really threw the book at me. Like, they really treated me like
made an example out of you.
Oh my gosh. I get it. I made terrible decisions, but the judge actually kind of liked me. And then the judge didn't know that I had fixed the man's car. Like, I did go to my insurance, and he got a nice check, and he hated his car anyway. He was a very nice guy, by the way. Like, seriously, he was like, I hated that car. Thanks. Right. I mean, I did it the wrong way as far as I should have just, next month. Whatever. You get that. But, so the judge was like, wait, you fixed his car? I was like, yes, Your Honor, I did my insurance and everything, and he's perfectly happy. He didn't want to be there. He was just like, look, I gotta go to work. This is stupid. I don't even care. He even called prior to my court case and said, please don't, drop it. I don't care. She's paid. I'm paid off. I hated the car anyway, and they wouldn't drop the case. Yeah, so the guy...
Charge?
Huh?
Did you catch a charge?
Yes, my charge is like I don't even know what the lowest charge you could possibly get, but that's a misdemeanor or something, is leaving the scene of an accident.
Okay.
That is literally what I got charged with. Gotcha. So because the judge didn't know that I had fixed his car, but I'm already in his court, so he said, well, I have to give you something. You're at this point. So he gave me in his words, the lowest amount of house arrest that anybody's ever had.
Wow.
In this county. 8 days house arrest.
Oh, it's nothing. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and 6 months probation. And my probation officer, like, we kicked it, man. He knew I was no freaking threat. Nothing like that. We talked sports the whole time. He even told me where he lived. His actual house where he lived. Like,
yeah. I mean, you're no
he saw me driving by in the Mustang. He's like, I saw you driving by my house. that's when you know that you're like not a threat, you know.
Right.
So it was just BS. It was just all money and all that
Oh,
crap. But here's something that house arrest was kind of cool actually.
I've never done house arrest. I've never experienced
Oh,
it.
well, here's why. Here's where I liked it. So my garage at the time was like set up with like a recliner and like a refrigerator and you know it was set up.
I remember,
It was
yeah.
like July, so I was kicking it in my garage. Had the garage door open, just kicking it, and you know I had the ankle bracelet on, and what I learned is that chicks dig ankle bracelets.
Gross.
I've never been the bad girl, you know what I mean? Okay, so I took a picture of my ankle bracelet and I would send it out. I'm serious. I only got 8 days. 8 days. It was the best 8 days of my life.
You're ridiculous.
I had more like, let's just say,
Oh my god.
people coming to me because they felt sorry for me.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Yeah. And then the dude comes by that has to check on you like randomly whenever you know he comes by, and he's like he just walks up and this is pretty cool. I was like, hey, have a seat, man. Like he's like, all right, how you doing? I'm like, great.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was all just money. It was just so stupid.
Yeah.
The whole process treating me like an absolute criminal. Having my employer sign off that I was at work,
Yeah.
acting like I'm a serious threat to society, when all I did was just not knock on the door and tell them that's all it really was.
Yeah.
But definitely poor decisions. Don't Ace Ventura, and don't represent yourself in court.
Yeah, I have to say when I got arrested, I looked like a straight up punk. So
You were gangsta.
I had a pink mohawk. And
Oh, nice,
yeah, and
nice.
it
You didn't
was-
tell me that part.
Yeah, it was rough. It was a real sweet pink mohawk, and I was obviously like wearing patches and the denim jet. Like
Nice.
I've always worn.
You look like a badass. You
I-
still look like a badass, by the way.
I've tamed it down a lot.
It's
But,
okay.
So
We're getting old, Ryan.
yeah, I know. I gotta grow up sometime.
No, you do not.
So this is the thing that I feel like I need to stress. This is when I was being interrogated about why why I ran from the cops and whatnot. And I was very clear and honest with cops, compliant and whatnot. But I started getting frustrated because it took a little while because I had to go in after I got bailed
It's a
out right away,
lousy
but you had to keep going back
stupid
in.
process.
And at one point they asked me if I had any gang affiliation.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, but here's where I'm dumb. I think that because I'm obviously white privileged, and I'm like, fuck it, you're fucking with me, you're taking my time, and so I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, they're like, so you're like affiliated with the gang? They actually asked me if I'm wearing patches and pins and whatnot. Like, you affiliated with a gang, right? And I was like, yeah. Deuce is wild.
Oh, Ryan.
I meant it as
What in the world?
I was just fucking joking. I was bored. I was like, it had been forever with this like basically they're giving me the full like inquisition on like stupid shit. Like I ran from the cops. There was no backstory to it. I just ran from the cops because I was fucking frustrated. But yeah, so I say I'm with Deuces Wild, and so that followed me. That followed me forever. Like every time I've ever dealt with a cop, they always are like so
real like
it's not
real
even
thing.
a thing. I
Oh, it's not?
hope not. Like they're gonna come for me now. Like,
Hey, did you know I have a gangster name?
no, I did not know that. What is it?
I really do.
Oh my god, I can't wait for this.
Lil Bladder. Lil Bladder, y'all. Because I have the smallest bladder ever. I swear. Listen, if I haven't peed on your couch, are we even friends?
I was gonna say, I mean, it's happened multiple times.
How many couches have I peed on of
You've
yours?
peed on 3 of my couches.
3?
Yeah.
Was it the same couch 3 times?
No. It was one. Wait. No. 2 couches. Somebody else peed on it. So I just blamed you for it.
But it was like a
peed
real
on
easy clean off couch. It wasn't.
I was a white leather couch on one of them, and then the other one was I had just replaced the white leather couch with like this cute little like fabric couch. It was like nice and gray, and then you pissed right on it. I was like, fuck! It was literally 3 days after I got it. I was like, well, that one's gone.
I also got a thing with toilet seats. Didn't I break a toilet seat of yours or something?
You know what? Yeah, you were wild when you drank. I like the one. So she was notorious for peeing on the couch.
No, guys, listen. No, I really do. Medically speaking, have a very small bladder. My mom has my. I'm serious. I drank a lot of beer, and well, I'm sorry.
So after peeing on 2 couches, you came over one time and I made you a bed on the floor. Like I made you a little nest. And I remember not being asleep because I could hear you. Like you were like restless in your sleep.
Yeah.
And I heard you get up at one point and I'm like, that bitch is getting on my couch. I remember getting up and being like, not another couch.
Yes.
We went to breakfast with you with pee pants.
Yeah, you sprayed me down.
I sprayed you down with Febreze and we're like, let's get breakfast.
Yes, I have had breakfast out in public.
In piss pants.
In piss pants.
A few times. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. So now this part of the show, I have just kind of some random questions for Ryan. Some of them you may be aware of, but no, it's not a big deal.
All right.
So my first question for you is, do you still have the squatty potty?
Yeah. I love my squatty potty. I look forward to using my squatty potty.
I loved it. I'm very short, so
yeah.
I think that's might be why I ruined your toilet seat, because I was like trying to utilize the squatty potty, and
I either have a squatty potty or I have a poop stool that you can pull over. Yeah, I'm a convert to having a poop stool or a squatty potty in every
If
bathroom.
Squatty Potty wants to represent this show, sponsor this show.
I actually need a new squatty potty. So.
What? How does it wear out or something?
No. It's like marred up from footprints from like people coming in and using it.
Like
It's just. I mean, I wash it, but like he's still. Still functional, but not as clean as I'd like. But yeah.
Would you like to talk about the time?
I love that you brought up the squatty potty.
I love the squatty potty, man. I'm all about it.
I'm all about it.
Shout out to Squatty Potty.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I will always have a squatty potty.
I love that you still have it. I'm serious. That's like one of the things I remember. I remember all your bikes, like in your living room, bicycles all in the living room.
Motorcycles.
I love that place you had, man. It was cool.
It
looked like a warehouse, but it was like a warehouse with a kitchen and
it used to
like,
be an old
a lot of couches. A lot of couches.
I always had a lot of I was always entertaining people. So
you were picking people up from the bar. And
did I let you shoot arrows through my wall? The big target? Yeah,
I believe so.
Yeah, I actually missed that space. That was a cool space.
That was a very cool space.
Yeah.
Very cool space. Would you like to talk? Would you like to talk about the time that you felt sorry for the guy that his cat died?
Oh no. Oh god.
We can edit it out. I just asked a question. You do not have to.
Are you talking about me losing my dude virginity?
Yes, if you want to talk about it.
All right. It wasn't that his cat died.
Oh.
It was a 3-legged kitten, and people were fucking with this 3-legged kitten, and like basically I was at a party, and this guy was like there was a 3-legged kitten, and these people were being shitty to the 3-legged kitten, and so this guy was like crying and being like, "Don't mess with the cat," and it moved me so much that I had sex with the first dude ever at 20.
How does that even
25.
work? Like, what did he like ask you? Like,
no, it was all on me. I had already decided I was gonna have sex with some dude.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna be traveling solo for a while, and I had never had sex with a dude before that, and so I was like, well, I might as like just in case anything like because I feel fortunate that I hadn't been sexually assaulted, and so I wanted to make sure that if anything rough happened, that I'd already had consensual sex with a dude.
So this guy seriously had a soft edge to him. I mean,
he was a beautiful, sweet dude, and then I was already on the hunt for like some dude to basically defile.
I live with that philosophy too. Like I'm tired of people just telling me, what I'm supposed to like or whatever. So I live by the philosophy. I'll try it once, but I don't like it.
I only and exclusively had sex.
Nobody
with
can say I didn't give men a good shot.
Yeah,
I went behind the bar.
You gave it a lot of opportunities.
Did I ever? I'll tell more stories about that, but I think I'm
still
covered on.
Yeah.
So
you sure you're gay?
Pretty sure about that one.
Pretty sure now?
Yeah.
All right, good.
There are men that I do find attractive. It's not like I just don't want to have sex with them. I'm just not sexually attracted to them.
Yeah.
But I do have
That's funny that you remember that though. Yeah, 100%. And I don't even remember his name. I have no idea what his name is. I remember the second guy I had sex with. But
go ahead and tell.
It was within like literally. Okay, so I had sex with the guy that was defending the kid, and it was it was in a threesome. It was in a
no! Hold on! So, you never told me this part.
What, no. Basically, I was just telling you because you were like, "Have you had sex with a guy?" I was like, "Yes," and these are the situations how.
Is it the same night?
It was literally within like a 24 to 48 hour period between the first guy I ever had sex with, and I'm like 25 at this time.
Sorry, Remy.
And then the second guy I had sex with was literally like within days of it. And
So you went back.
well, no, it was because okay, so the first situation was in a threesome, and he didn't. It was literally like barely sex.
All right.
Like it technically was sex, but it was just like he didn't last long. Like it was like, and then the second time was the same thing, but like, yeah, I'm not.
Let me just say for the record that.
Anyways, it was I realized real quickly that I am super gay.
Oh,
But I gave it a go, and then I gave it a second go.
Oh, I gave a lot of goes.
You gave a lot of goes. Yeah.
Let me say for the record, though, lesbians do not have to worry about like whiskey dick and stuff like that. It's great. I'm glad we don't got to worry about that anymore.
No, this was not a whiskey dick situation. This was like a what's it called when you ejaculate too quickly? What is it?
Oh, he just
yeah.
See, we're so gay.
Yeah, terminology for penises.
Couldn't keep it. He blew his load real quick. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
What? Here's my next question. What are you proud of?
I'm actually proud of a lot of things. I feel like I've done more in my lifetime than most people have done. Like,
Oh gosh, that's for sure.
I've lived like 40 different lives in this short
You've
period
seen
of
the
time.
country.
I've been to every single continental state.
What?
Yeah.
For real?
Oh yeah. I've been to multiple countries. I've traveled extensively. I'm really proud of a lot of my business ventures. I'm proud of a lot of my political activism. There's so much that I'm proud of. My thing that I'm most proud of, and it's kind of a sensitive topic for me because it's where I am now, is giving up my lifestyle to move back to Indiana, and that was to take care of my grandmother, her special needs brother.
Oh, your grandmother! What a
yeah,
great lady.
Yeah, and her
That is
older brother as
great-
well.
Yeah.
And I gave my I gave my best to try to make their last years at least.
And you did, by the way. You did.
I did. There was some
It
real
wasn't easy.
drama. There was some real drama with it, but that's probably what I'm most proud of is like
That's a great answer.
I feel
Ryan.
like
That's
I've done
great
a lot
answer.
of things that were like for myself and for like the betterment of like the world and the community, but that one was like a familial responsibility that I did not have to take on that I did.
Correct.
And I do feel
Is that the sole reason you moved back to Indiana?
that is the sole reason why I moved back to Indiana. Yeah, I mean my family's here, and so I mean I really had the intention of like fostering a lot of relations with my family, which I was estranged from 16 until I moved back to Indiana.
I didn't realize you were estranged from your family when you.
Not technically estranged. I put a lot of distance between myself and the family for a lot of reasons. But when I found out that my grandma and Jerry were in like dire need of help, that was kind of that was the motivation for moving back.
That's a great answer, and you should be proud of that, by the way.
I am proud of that.
You gave her some wonderful last days.
Not
saying there wasn't
there
drama,
was a lot of
but
tumultuous
that woman
drama
knew that
back
you
and
loved her, and
Yeah.
you definitely gave her some great last days. So a couple more questions here. What is one of your favorite jobs that you've had?
easily the bike messenger job.
Oh, yeah,
Easily
no
hands
doubt.
down, getting paid to ride fast. And
I think
like,
you're an excellent bartender, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You love bartending.
I
You
do
are
actually like
so
bartending.
good at that.
Oh, thank you.
I
appreciate
mean,
that.
really, you know how to conversate. Obviously, you're doing a great job here. But bartending, you very instinctive. Your social skills are very good.
I can get along with anyone.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. And I truly think that's our childhood.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You kind of had to. It was a sink or swim kind of situation, and like we had a lot of different cultures that we had to basically just fit right in.
Talk about cultures. I remember there was a Hispanic family that lived across the street from you, and you were in apartments. And then later,
was it the Aguirres?
Escobels.
Escobel. Oh
yes,
yeah.
yes. I dated the one.
Did you?
Yeah, he's one of my first boyfriends. Yeah, he was cute. He always wore his like shirt with just open, just his chest. I'm like, yeah. See, I'm telling you, I think I was born straight. I don't know. Anyway, so you lived in apartments, and then I remember you telling me in our adulthood that you were like, I thought you were rich, referring to me because we had a house, and I'm like, whoa, you thought I was rich.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. We lived in a fairly impoverished neighborhood, and then I lived in townhouses, like in the apartment complex.
Yes.
And so
I
and
didn't
think a
look
lot of-
at you like apartment trash or nothing. I didn't. I promise you, I did not.
at that
And-
point, that apartment complex was considered Fort Wayne's ghetto. So it was a lot of Section 8 housing. It was a lot of a lot of people were on welfare. My family was pretty prideful and did not get.
I remember as a child watching that neighborhood just deteriorate. Like, we had a nice house. My dad, very, very handy, and he fixed everything.
Yeah.
One day I broke my bike, and the man took it to work, and he welded my bike back together. I'm serious. Like, I didn't know what a broken toy was.
Yeah.
With my dad. So, yes, our house was like the nicest house on the block with the nicest basketball court. Oh my God.
I just
That
assumed that
basketball
anyone
court.
that owned
Nobody
it-
made fun of me because they just wanted to play basketball on my basketball
It's
court.
true. Yeah.
That thing got, my basketball court prevented me from getting bullied.
And your
that, and I played them, and I beat them all the time.
Right.
So that helped. But, yeah. So that Mexican family lived across the street from you. I had a crazy, like, eye-opening experience with them. There was, like, I don't know, 8 kids or something like that.
They had a big family.
Yeah. And it was extremely impoverished. The house was just trash.
It was rough.
Well, I remember going and wanting to play with one of the kids or something, and I'm probably like 10 years old, and this boy's probably like 9 or 10 years old, and I said, "Yeah, you want to come out and play?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, hold on, come on in. I have my brother duty." And I'm like, you know where I'm going with this?
Yep.
You know where I'm going?
Yeah.
Brother duty? What does that mean? Again, I'm a 10-year-old kid, okay?
Right.
So I go in their house. I kid you not. In the center of right in their living room is a hospital bed, like pumps, feeding tubes,
Yeah.
and I'd never seen any of this before. And he has to change his brother's feeding tube, the brother's diaper,
The colostomy bag.
the colostomy, yeah. And the apparently the brother, he was about 22 years old, and he was in a bad car accident. It was essentially a vegetable. And that was the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
So the family, I mean, it's amazing how they just rallied. They just had like a schedule, and it didn't matter. He's 9 years old. He's
Whatever
changing
age
his
you
brother's
were, yep.
colostomy bag, and they didn't have health care. That's how poor they were, you know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they were undocumented at the time too.
I didn't know. I didn't understand what that was at
Yeah.
the time. I mean, looking back, yeah, probably, but because the brother did end up dying, and they all moved.
Right.
So I don't know where they moved to. I can only assume that. I have no idea. But that's just awful that they had to do that. I mean, looking back, I'm like, what in the world? And now with my situation now, I'm feeling very let down by the like, why is our health insurance tied to our jobs? This is so stupid. First thing that happens when you break your back like I did is you can't work.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but that was, I remember that very clearly. At 10 years old, seeing a family take care of their brother like that was very humbling.
I had forgotten about Justin, by the way. Speaking of that
Mhm.
neighborhood and how, so my first boyfriend was Justin.
He was a little cutie.
Yeah,
Show us
is he
picture.
in this one or was it the other? But my very first boyfriend, he had his midsection blown out by a gunshot.
In memory of Justin Peterson, September 15th, 1978, he was born. January 4th, 1992.
Yeah, so that was my very first boyfriend.
He is a little cutie.
And then right after him, I dated another guy who, in the same apartment complex, somebody broke into their apartment, slit him, his brother, and his mom's throat. Do you remember this?
What?
So I think that's another thing too. Like, I tried really hard to be straight for the longest time, and not that I was having sex with these kids. We were really young, but like I thought I always had boyfriends. But
Yeah, you're a magnet. People are attracted to you.
yeah.
Friendship wise and otherwise. I mean, you have a very good personality.
Yeah. But the first couple guys that I ever dated, literally it was the first 4 guys that I dated, they all like either died or came close to death and had to move away because of violent circumstances. Like, it was that kind of neighborhood. Like,
But it was normal to us.
yeah. No, it was totally normal. Like, I was like, that was normal. By the 5th boyfriend, I was like, well, he's probably gonna get a gunshot or somebody's gonna stab him. Like,
I didn't know, Ryan, that until I was 11 years old, and I went to church on the good side of town, and everybody was white in that church. And I was like, what? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why is the good side of town all white? And then, I mean, my whole neighborhood and schools.
I didn't understand race
Black.
dynamics at all.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea about race.
I just assumed all neighborhoods were mixed in Fort Wayne. I did not realize that it was like the Fort Wayne.
I was a minority.
White. Yeah.
And then by going to this church on the good side of town, it made me realize that I was poor. That part sucked.
Yeah.
I was a poor white girl. I just never felt poor because I rode that bike everywhere. I knew who was eating dinner at what time.
You hit up those spots. You were very food motivated.
I was food motivated because we were my family was very food insecure. I mean, seriously, now I define that as food insecure. We were on food stamps and all that stuff. Were you ever on food stamps or free lunch or anything like that?
You know, I think that we did like a year of free lunch, but like my mom and my stepdad worked their asses off.
Oh yeah.
But no, not that yours didn't.
No, mine did.
But like we
had my dad was a handyman. Started his own business.
Met my mom though. She's all about appearances, and so even though we were dead broke, she always tried to make it look like we weren't.
Okay.
And so it was I think it was just a matter of like their pride that maybe we were, but they wouldn't like ever let us know that because the worst thing that I could have done would like say that I have. You know what I mean? Like my mom would have been mortified if I would have been like, we're on food stamps. Like
really? So we had no problem with that. And my mom was the lunch lady, so it's like weird that I can't afford the lunches that my mom makes.
That's
how awkward
so
is like I don't understand why lunches aren't just free and I mean I agree.
But yeah, no, I was unaware of how poor we were, even though
really
because my mom was about appearances. So I mean, we were well clothed, we were well fed, we were well taken care of. She always tried to keep up appearance. Now we always had shitty ass cars. Do you remember?
You still do.
I have lots of shitty ass cars now. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things about you is that you are if you won the lottery, you'd probably give it all away. Like money does not motivate you. No. You do not care if you wanted money, you get it. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem.
But you do not. You just don't live like that. Would you agree that you're more of like a minimalist?
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm a minimalist. Currently, I'm an unintentional hoarder because I have a whole bunch of like.
And that's from your grandmother. That wasn't yours.
It's just like all this like acquired shit that I can't throw away because I also grew up right next to the landfill at Fox Island, and so it's like
Fox Island.
Yeah, so I've got a lot of like internalized environmental issues.
You're a very nature person too. Yeah, you love nature.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely a minimalist. Like I could literally live with my animals.
You could live in a tent in the woods.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly fine with that.
Yes,
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
with your animals.
Money has never been a motivator for me at all, which is probably.
I think it's kind of cool.
Well, I mean, but we live in a world where we need.
See, I'm just the opposite of you. I like stability. I lived in my house for like 14 years now, or something like that. Bought it at like 27, and I just like to not have. I hate moving. I hate not knowing what my environment's going to be.
If I didn't have my cats.
So I admire that about you.
If I didn't have my cats currently, I would be on the road just traveling. Like I would take Arthur and we would just travel. So I definitely like have to keep a stable environment for the cats.
Right. But you do.
Yeah, I mean, because the animals take priority, man.
You're quite the animal person.
Yeah,
yes.
They always take priority over everything.
That's awesome. Well, Ryan, this has been wonderful.
Yeah, thank you
would you mind telling the audience? Do you want to talk about? Are you on Facebook or any way that you would like anybody to know you?
It's Ryan Staples. I'm pretty easy to find. Actually, that's not true at all. But
Ryan goes in hiding a lot. That's just your personality.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I didn't find you for 20 years, and I searched. I promise you, I searched.
It's on purpose.
I don't even have your phone number.
I've paid money to keep myself like under the radar. So
you've done a good job of it.
I've no interest in fame. I have no interest in.
I love that about you. It's all right. Thank you for tuning into this show. This was wonderful.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're one of my best friends.
We really do appreciate comments. I'm not trying to be the know-it-all, and neither is Ryan, by the way. We're still learning too, and that's why I'm doing this show. So please comment questions. You can. My PO box again is PO Box 146, Ossian, Ossian, Indiana 46777. I'll put it on the screen. What's that? I'm still learning how to do the text thing on the editing. Anyways, jendoling@gmail.com. And I'm Jen Doling on Facebook as well. So thank you very much.
No problem.
And Ryan, I love you. I
Love you
think
too.
you are a wonderful person.
Hey, thank
And
you.
thank you for being my very first guest
Yeah, thanks
on
for
my
having
show.
me.
I couldn't have thought of a better guest that kind of told our stories together.
I hope there's some content that you can use.
Oh, I know it. Thank you very much.